test this network real quick. This is different. My Verizon network, but it's fucked up too, obviously. Not nearly as bad, it doesn't seem. But if you're trying to watch this show, well, it's green now. Nope, back to red. See, I don't think it's that. It's the network itself. It's the connection. And I guess it's the weather because it's Wi-Fi. It doesn't seem to be much better. I mean, I guess it is better because it's not dropping as many frames as fast, but it's still unstable. It goes from green to yellow to red. It hasn't disconnected me though. So I don't know if we can do the show like this or not. This is awful because I said, obviously it's not a professional show. When you're like, I know you're watching, but it's just a test. It's like, wait, it's green now. All the bars are green. It's going, so. You know what? I'm beginning to think that Alta Fiber is not all it's cracked up to be. It's like, because seems to be a lot of problems with the Alta Fiber. I got my phones connected to the Verizon network too, and right now, and it's not doing anything to drag it down. I don't know. But anyway, if you've been watching what's going on, I said, I'm going to finish the thought that I was trying to say before. It's not Trump that's disappointing, is it? It's not, because we know what Donald Trump is. He's an insecure little fuck, jerk off wannabe dictator who feels like the whole world has slighted him his whole life, even though he was given $400 million by his father. He was born rich. He never really had to work or do anything in his life, and and he's a narcissist. So no one's ever seen how, or no one's ever understood how great he really is. It's like, so, like many conservatives, despite being born with every advantage possible, he still feels slighted somehow. That somehow the world has fucked him over. Even though he's gotten away with everything, he's a criminal who's committed fraud. If he's not a pedophile, he's a creep. Of course. He's a guy who grabs women by the pussy. He said it himself. Self-admitted pussy grabber. That's a little creepy, don't you think? A guy who owned a beauty pageant for teenage girls and barged into the dressing room so he could gawk at them while they were changing into their bikinis or such. And he's proud of it. He's proud of grabbing pussies. He was bragging about it. Anyway, so he loves Vladimir Putin. And all the people that say, oh, he's not Putin's puppet, he doesn't, it's like, how can you watch what has transpired? Yesterday, he's having a meeting with all the European leaders and Zelensky. And in the middle of the meeting, he goes, I need to go and call Vladimir Putin. Because he was going, I know Vladimir Putin's not going to like what these people are saying. I need to tell him. And yet still these people are like, Trump is an alpha male. He's tough as nails. It's like, came out of that meeting, he's all slumped over. It's like, Putin put him on the rack, man. It's unbelievable. And still they come on Fox News. Oh, he's a master diplomat. He's playing 4D chess. They can't understand. They took the fact that all these European leaders came over here to be with Zelensky to keep him from getting ambushed like he did the first fucking time he came here. They took that, Fox News people, and they said that this is proof of how in charge of everything Trump is. It's like, no, that's not it at all. They didn't come here because Trump is tough and they felt like they needed to come here. They came here to protect Zelensky from getting bum rushed by Putin's little minions. I don't know if you know this, but this is not going to work out good. I predicted the future on this show all the time, and I'm telling you now, this is not going to work out well. Because Trump is Putin's puppet. You can say whatever you want. You can try to deny that. You can tell yourself that all these things that you see are not real. It's like that's an essential part of modern conservatism is denying reality and what's right in front of your face. They still say climate change isn't real. This fucking hurricane became a Category 5 overnight. Thank God it's not going to hit anywhere, But the very fact that they can look at these things and still tell themselves that their stupid fucking beliefs are real tells you that you're not dealing with people who are rational anymore. We live in an irrational world where everything is political now. Everything. The Minnesota Vikings had some male cheerleaders now. And the conservatives are up in all this male cheerleaders. It's unbelievable how it's like conflict is now like embedded in American culture. We have to fight about everything. And this fifth pace swimming bitch, I can't take it anymore. Like, here's what they do, right? This chick, I can't even remember her fucking name. That's how much I care about her. I don't care that much about her, but I keep seeing her everywhere, expounding political opinions about shit. And I'm like, okay, who is this person? And why should I care about what she thinks? And you look at her and you go, what is she? What is she? She's a chick who came in 5th place in a swimming tournament where there was one trans person involved. And she says, oh, I lost because there's a trans person. Bitch, you came in 5th place. That means trans person came in somewhere. That means 3 other natural women beat the shit out of you. That means you're probably not a very good swimmer. Right? But because she comes out and says, oh, it's a trans person, people go, yeah, and they made her a star, and now you have to listen to her political opinions. But really? Because she hates trans people, that makes her political opinions relevant? The bar is very low now. The bar is on the ground, really. If we're just stepping over or kicking it right to the side, doesn't even matter. And there's military people in the streets of the United States. First they were in Los Angeles, now they're in Washington. And now Charlie Kirk's on the air going about, we need to put military in all these cities until the crime goes away. What? These are people, like I said, they were small government conservatives, libertarians, a lot of them. Not even a, five 5 years ago. Not even that. Last year, until Trump got reelected, all of a sudden they're fucking fascists. All of a sudden, and they don't care if you put the military on people. They don't care if you. It's it's unbelievable. Charlie Kirk said, "I want to be able to walk in Chicago." Really, the problem with that, Charlie Kirk, is that you're Charlie Kirk. Crime ain't the issue. The issue is you're a fucking jerk off, and mass amounts of people want to punch you in the face. That's like, that's why it's not safe for you to walk anywhere. The military ain't gonna stop that. The military ain't gonna make people not hate your guts. You're an asshole, bro. And you watch these guys, and you're like, man, who are these people? There's millions of people watch Charlie Kirk. Why? Why would you watch Charlie Kirk? For any reason. Same thing. Who is he? These people just pop up out of nowhere. It's like a factory they have. They just spew these assholes out, onto the street. It's what. And they call themselves political commentators, like Scott Jennings, for example, right? Scott Jennings is on CNN, right, as a political commentator. That's his title, I guess, of his job. I mean, they pay him money to basically go on the air and just spew Trump propaganda. Now, my problem with these people is this: you don't ever get the feeling that, I mean, maybe he does agree with all this shit, but Scott Jennings doesn't ever one time say, I don't know what, they're doing, or I don't agree with what's going on. He spews propaganda. That's all he does. He's not a commentator in any way. He doesn't give any insights to anything. He spews the Trump line. And this is the problem with politics today, is no one's really saying, I shouldn't say that. On the right, they all talk in lockstep. All of them. It's like a machine. And I said, and they all have the same opinions, and they all agree on the same shit. And if you turn on like other channels like MSNBC or I guess there's that one, News Nation. They all have the same thing. MSNBC has stopped bringing on these right-wing dudes that just spew things. And I find that refreshing, because these fucking people are just fascists. And all they do is spew the fascist talking points. The problem with American politics today is this. Okay? The Democratic Party, for all of its flaws and all the things that's wrong with it, the biggest problem with the Democratic Party is it's a huge party with all different kinds of people. From hardcore leftists, actual, the communists that they talk about, well, those are a small group of people. Like I said before in the show, I never actually met a card-carrying communist. I never met somebody who was like, let's take over the means of production and the state should own everything. And it's like, I've never met these people. They're like a boogeyman that they I mean, I'm sure it's like anything else on the right. I'm sure there's a kernel of truth to it. I'm sure there's like 1% of people who are that hardcore leftists in this country who are like total communists, who are like, if you spoke to them, they would maybe say that. They would full-on Marxism, like the state needs to own everything and to take over the means of production and the workers, it's there might be a small percentage of those people, right? But the majority of Democrats are centrists, some people that lean left, social justice people, people that want universal health care and things like that. And that doesn't make you a communist. That's the myth. That's the capitalist propaganda where they say, that's the myth. That's the capitalist propaganda where they say, if you want universal health care, that's socialism, and that's communism, and communism and socialism are not the same thing. This country perpetuates ignorance about most things. The education system is trash. Okay, I mean, unless you're rich and you can afford to go to Harvard or Yale, or you can suck Peter Thiel's dick like J.D. Vance did and get him to pay for you. J.D. Vance, you hear him talking, and, he's smooth and he's polished, but he's not that smart. There's a video of him trying to figure out how to turn his camera around on the internet for like 10 fucking minutes. He can't figure it out. He's like, he's about to do a podcast. I mean, he's like, he's doing this. It's going on and on and on and on. And for like 10 minutes, he can't figure out how to turn the fucking thing. Because he's not that smart. He's a nut licker. All these people are groveling, pathetic bootlickers who will do anything to advance themselves, which means putting their head up another man's ass who's got more money and power than them. So they climb up the ladder, and then finally he made it all the way to the top, and he's got his head up the top guy's ass. But he's still just a guy with his head up another guy's ass. He's not. He'd be like, oh, what did J.D. Vance do? He wrote a piece of shit book that's not even true, about being a hillbilly, which he never was. Who had some relatives in Kentucky and went down there on the weekends every now and then. Maybe spent the summer, down in South Kentucky. That makes him a hillbilly. He's like, dude, you're not a fucking hillbilly, bro. I was born in Kentucky. I'm more of a hillbilly than he is. I lived out wall. It's like, I've been places where there was outhouses, no running water, Fucking, I never forget when I was a young kid. I don't even remember where we went, but it was way down there in Kentucky. There was outhouses and dogs that had ticks on them that were so full of blood that fucking ticks were like this big. And you're like looking at these rednecks like you're not gonna take the ticks off your dog. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? They're always like swigging moonshine out of a jug. That's like, those are hillbillies, bro. J.D. Vance is like, oh, I can take advantage of this situation by pretending I'm one of these people, and they'll think that I'm one of them, and I'm trying to help them. But really, he's just trying to advance his own position, and that's what he's always been doing. How did he write that book? Because he didn't have to work. Why didn't he have to work? Because Peter Thiel paid for him to live. He's a bum. He basically is a bum. That's what we call him. If he was a guy who was living off some rich woman, they'd call him a bum. So he's living off a gay billionaire. But Peter Thiel's gay. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. No, I'm just saying that should be part of the story because it's part of the facts. Peter Thiel's gay, and somehow J.D. Vance attached himself to him and did enough for him that he paid for him. Like I said, the GI Bill didn't pay for. Like I said, the GI Bill didn't pay for Yale Law School, bro. And what happened after he graduated Yale Law School? He gave him a job at a cushy capital management fund or something. And then people that worked there said he never did anything. He just sat around. And he wrote that book. Which I'm sure Peter Thiel told him, you got to do something and make yourself, put yourself into the scene here because you haven't really accomplished anything. So just write your book. Probably assisted by AI or some shit. He probably didn't write the book himself. As I said, if you listen to J.D. Vance talk, he's not very smart. It's just an objective observation. He's a groveling nutlicker. That's all he is. He's very good at it. I mean, obviously, nut licked his way all the way up to the vice presidency. But he's not really that smart of a guy. And that tells you again, too. Like, if you can pay the money, if you show up, like, it can't be that hard to graduate from Yale Law School. I don't know what that means. Anyway, thanks for being here. Somebody just, I think it's best viewers on streamboo.com. I think somebody wants me to see them naked or something. I don't know. Her name is Severe Concubine. GCZUF. But it's from Twitch, which means Twitch is working. I don't know why my show hasn't been going on Facebook lately. I need to check into that. Anyway, yeah, so these people, all these people are around Trump. It's the most incompetent administration that you've ever seen in your life. They left the top secret papers in the hotel. That's how you get the thing. It says the luncheon for His Excellency Vladimir Putin. Why would you? You're the President of the United States. Why would you be calling another man His Excellency? Why would you be kissing this guy's ass? He's a war criminal. Who's Donald Trump? I'm just a guy that hangs out with pedophiles, sex traffickers, and war criminals. And Trump keeps saying he stopped 6 wars. I don't know, like in a week or something. It's like, I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what 6 wars he stopped. It doesn't matter, does it? Because Trump just says things. He says whatever he wants. And no one challenges him. Nobody says, hey man, that's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. What you're doing. And what you're saying. No one does. They just let him talk. He says, today he says, I went to get a license. Or it was yesterday maybe, he said. And they asked me for my license plate. The man is an idiot. He's a fucking moron. It doesn't matter how much money he's got. He's got a lot of money, yeah, because he's a fucking con artist and a thief. It's like, he's made more money since he's been president than he ever made in his entire life. Before he was president, he just bankrupted everything he touched. You see this? Now he's trying to go after the banks to cut him off for having bad credit. It's unbelievable. You know, we're living through the craziest time that I've been around a long time, and I've seen some crazy shit. Nothing compares to this as far as craziness. We're not even 1 year in. Everything that people said would happen, like me, that everybody said was crazy, it's all happened already. They got concentration camps, got military in the streets. These are fascists. Now he's talking about getting rid of, telling states how they got to run their election. It's like, what? The Constitution specifically empowers states to run elections how they see fit. The only job of the federal government is to certify the votes that come in from the states. Again, where's the states' rights people? The small government conservatives, states' rights people, constitutionalists. They're nowhere to be found. You know why? Because they're fascists. They don't care about any of that. I'm beginning to think that they never did. And they say, oh, we gotta get the worst of the worst. They're all at Home Depot. it's, that's why the criminals. No, what they do is they look for one thing. Like this thing that just happened with an immigrant truck driver hit somebody with a truck, right? And he happened to get his license in California, and somehow, like, that means that every immigrant is a danger, and this is all Gavin Newsom's fault, and it's like, it's a fear-mongering machine that creates things out of nothing to make boogeymen for you to be afraid of, so that you will give up your liberty to them because for your safety, which Benjamin Franklin said a long time ago. You want to give up your liberty for a little bit of safety. You don't deserve liberty or safety because you're a piece of shit coward and most likely a fascist. He didn't say that part, but I'm interpreting for him what he meant. He's talking about you. I said, Charlie Kirk is so terrified to walk through a city in America that he thinks that every city should be occupied by the military. And I'm saying, it's not the crime, Charlie. It's the fact that you're Charlie Kirk and everybody wants to punch you in the face. It's... They ain't gonna do a crime unless the military ain't gonna stop that. It ain't gonna stop people from hating your guts because you're a fucking jerk off. That's like... All right, I gotta go. Yeah, thanks, Mom. All right. I gotta go. So, I'm being a nurse now, even though I never went to medical